Yo, how's it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast. I am your host, Chris. Today, I am joined by my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going pretty good.
So, today we are going to be talking about the Bears' Week 17 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota this week. Tons at stake this week, depending on how the Rams do and how the Philadelphia Eagles do. It's Week 17. There are a ton of playoff scenarios in play, so we're going to break down this entire situation and this entire game for you guys. First off, before we get into it, I'd like to say two things. Number one, we are having a giveaway. If you can go check our Instagram out if you're watching this video, you want to enter the giveaway. We're giving away some NFC North Championship stuff, and that giveaway ends in about a week when the Bears are going to start playing their first, hopefully, wildcard game, but it actually might not end until the divisional round, depending on the Rams. So I would like to break down, before we start this, a couple playoff scenarios. Philadelphia Eagles are in the playoffs if the Bears win and the Eagles win. Bears are in the playoffs already, but they can win the 2 seed if the Rams lose and they win. If the Bears beat the Vikings, the only way the Vikings can make the playoffs is with an Eagles loss, and they're playing against a fourth-string quarterback in the Washington Redskins. So, and the Vikings get in with a win. And we're going to play either the Vikings or the Eagles or Seattle, most likely the Vikings or the Eagles, in the wild card round. And if we move on to the divisional round, we'll talk about that next week. I don't really expect that to happen, honestly. The 49ers in the Coliseum. I don't expect, after watching what Nick Mullins did last week against the Bears, I don't really expect him to be able to go beat a Rams team on the road. But let's get right into it. Obviously, we didn't do a meet the opponents or 3 key factors this week, but we're going to get the playoff coverage coming for you guys big time starting next week. I do remember at the beginning of the season we all said we were going to wear button-down shirts if the Bears made the playoffs. So, oh man, I didn't know if I expected that at the beginning of the season. I got to go back and find that clip. I think that was in one of our predictions videos.
I'm ready though.
Yeah. I'd much rather know that the Bears are in the playoffs and have to wear a button-down shirt than be sitting on my couch talking about the other games. Anyways, let's get right into it. Most important matchup in this game, Jaylen, let's start with you. What's an important matchup in this game? I would like to say for the Bears, Eddie Jackson's out, Allen Robinson's out, and Aaron Lynch are out. Or they're doubtful. Most likely out.
Yeah, my most important matchup is Deion Bush versus Kirk Cousins. Like you just said, Eddie Jackson is most likely out this game, and he did have an okay game last week. We didn't know if he was having a bad game or not because he really didn't get thrown at. But that's my team to watch. You know, this is his second time starting since his rookie year, and if he can hold down that free safety spot, then we should be good until next week where we should be getting Eddie Jackson back.
Totally. I'm going to go with Trubisky versus the Vikings secondary. We know that this defense, we know what they can do against the Vikings. We stifled Kirk Cousins last time. A little bit better of situation for Cousins this time, and a little bit worse of a situation for Trubisky this time. The Vikings are playing to get into the playoffs. That is going to be a playoff atmosphere in Minnesota. I'm currently in Chicago, but I'm going to be out there for the game. I'm sure it's going to be incredible. The Vikings fans, they're going to show up and get loud. They just paid $84 million for this quarterback to come in and bring him to the playoffs. Do we know if that's going to happen? No, but we know that the fans want that quarterback to be in the playoffs. So the Vikings fans are going to show up big time. Trubisky's going to have to play well if the Bears want a chance in this one. And Nagy says they are going to play to win.
I'm going to go with our O-line versus their D-line because their D-line has a league-high 33 sacks at home.
And our O-line's allowed the least pressures in the league. Actually.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how our O-line can communicate with each other in that loud Minnesota crowd. Like you explained, it's playoff. It's win or go home for them because there's no way in hell the Eagles are losing to a fourth-string quarterback. Yeah. So, basically, Kyle Long will be coming back most likely, depending on tonight if they announce him.
And we'll see how James Daniels done. James Daniels was great a couple weeks ago against Aaron Donald. He's got another tough matchup this week probably with Everson Griffin. Once again. But if you look at this week versus the last time we played the Vikings, I mean, Shaheen's back this week. We didn't have him last time. Obviously, we had Allen Robinson last time. The receivers also are just going to be people that are going to have to step up, especially in Robinson's, in the lack of Robinson's presence. Let's talk about deciding factors. Let's start with deciding factors that'll lose the Bears this game. Jaylen, what do you think could happen that could lose the Bears this game?
The 49ers getting blown out. That's all. That's all. The only reason we lose this game if Chase Daniels is playing. If the Rams are blowing the 49ers out, then that is how we're gonna lose this game.
So you're confident? You're saying with our starters, there is a 100% chance we win this game.
100%. I see it's about an 80-20 chance. That's how confident in this team. Coming into this season, I felt like we're definitely going to do better coming off 5-0 season. But at 11, we're sitting at 11-4. I'm extremely confident in this ability and in my ability of this team. So yeah, that's the only reason we lose is if they sit the starters.
Yep.
Oh damn.
No, Parth, you're good.
I'm getting bold. I got this beanie on. I'm bold.
That's bold, bro. I don't know. I mean, I have mixed thoughts going into this game. It's like, because Nagy himself said that he's not going to look at the 49ers score until halftime. So,
he will.
You never know, I mean, if he's looking at that thing, and if I see the 49ers down by 7, I'm playing all out. And the only way we lose this game is Trubisky and his turnovers. He's been playing turnover-free football lately. But always, this Vikings defense stifles him. I mean, he threw 2 picks on Sunday Night Football when he played them. He threw a pick in his opening debut game at the end of the game. So, not to be a Debbie Downer, but, against the Vikings, he tries to, throw the ball deep, and it always gets, intercepted. So, I hope he can clean that up.
Yeah, I'm going to say if Trubisky is careless with the ball, that we're going to lose this game. We have to score on offense. We're missing Allen Robinson. If we turn the ball over, and you can say Kirk Cousins is a choke, Kirk Cousins sucks. You can say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins, but Dalvin Cook's been on a roll. They're eventually going to find ways to score. So we got to keep the ball and at least get some type of points or pin them deep in their own territory when we can. Can't give them good field position. For the Bears to win this game, I'm going to say if we run the ball well, we'll have a good game. Anthony Barr hasn't been having too great of a season. You can run the ball on this team, kind of similar with the Rams. If we get Jordan Howard going downhill, I'd say it's a good sign.
I would say...
You think we should run the ball to try to get Jordan Howard 1,000 yards?
It's not happening, though.
Yeah, it's not. He needs 300.
I mean, it could. He's only 164 yards away.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
I mean, I would love for him to have 1,000 yards, but I doubt it too. But
1,000 yards and a 3.2 yards per carry. All right?
He needs 100. He needs 174.
Yeah, that's not happening. But I'm gonna say for the Bears to win this game, we need to create the big play. Because when you're at an away game, if you create a big play, you quiet that crowd down right away. I mean, I've been to Bears games and where I've seen Rodgers or Matthew Stafford throw the ball deep in a 50-yard, 60-yard completion. It quiets the stadium down. So in order to the Bears win, if we can quiet this crowd down, limit the crowd noise, and limit the playoff atmosphere feelings or whatever, we can win this game.
Totally. Let's talk about players on the offense and defense who need to step up. Let's start with the defense. I'm going to go first. On defense, I'm going to go with Roy Robertson-Harris. He's been pretty solid the entire year. Aaron Lynch is gone. He's been doing pretty good the entire year at linebacker. But we're going to need some D linemen, whether it be Robertson-Harris, whether it be Bilal Nichols. Those guys have done an incredible job all year. But we saw what happened when we got pressure on Jared Goff. We saw what happened when we got pressure on Matthew Stafford. We saw what happened when we got pressure on Aaron Rodgers. We saw what happened when we got pressure on Kirk Cousins. It's the same story every week. We get pressure on them. We force them into bad throws. These guys are going to have to step up and help apply some pressure with Khalil Mack probably being double-teamed the entire game.
Jaylen, you can go.
Defense.
I don't know who started this on Instagram, but Allen Robinson will be inactive for this game, and especially if we sit their starters, I feel like
we're doing defense. We're doing defense.
Oh,
I was like, "Are you about to say?"
I just be in my world. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Leonard Floyd. He's been stepping up these last couple of games, and 2.5 sacks against the Packers or something like that. But he's been stepping up from the beginning of the season where he wasn't playing that good, and I just want to see him get a couple more sacks, at least get to 7 like he did in his rookie year.
All right, I'm gonna go with Kyle Fuller, because our secondary.
Stephon Diggs was insane. Stephon Diggs had a really good game against us last time. 8 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown.
It wasn't against Kyle Fuller. It was against Parents.
But still limiting these wide receivers is going to be big time.
Yeah, especially without ball hawk Eddie Jackson. So Fuller and Amukamara both are going to step it up because they can't rely on Adrian Amos to make interceptions because he's not an interception type of dude.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Deion Bush do any of that either.
Yeah. On offense, I'm going to go with Kyle Long, assuming that he's coming back. This is going to be huge for him. I mean, we talked about preventing this Minnesota D-line from getting pressure on Trubisky. That's going to be huge, and him coming back, you'd assume there might be some rust. He's got to be able to pick it up early and help his quarterback the best way possible.
I'm going to go with Javon Wims or Kevin White.
Whichever one of them is active.
Yeah, whoever gets active between those two needs to step it up as a big receiver because the other guys aren't as big as Allen Robinson. So, because Turbo and Anthony Miller are pretty short and skinny, you could say, while Wims and Kevin White.
Kevin White could be playing for another contract.
Yeah, basically, if you can put him 100 yards this week, that'd be pretty lit. Not gonna lie.
And get his first regular season touchdown.
And there's that. He still hasn't had that in 4 years.
All right. Who do you think got to step up on offense, Jaylen? I know you were talking about receivers earlier.
Well, I was going to say free Wims or free White, but I'm not going to say that anymore. Thanks a lot, Parth. I'm gonna go with Jordan Howard. He's been getting the ball, especially since it's cold, especially in Chicago. So Maggie has been running the ball. I want to see him run the ball more. Because going into the playoffs to win games, especially our first playoff game, more than likely is going to be a home game. I want him in the playoffs. You have to run the ball. You have to play great defense, and if we run the ball and play great defense, which we did during the whole season, I see us not losing. So let's just start right now against a good defense and just run the ball so we can continue that momentum going into the playoffs.
Totally. Let's get into predictions. I'm going to take Bears 21-20. I think Cousins turns the ball over a couple times and really shows Minnesota, honestly, that he was not the right quarterback. I firmly believe that he wasn't the right quarterback. And even if Minnesota wins this game, I think we handle them next week in the playoffs. I might be saying it a little bit too early, but I say we handle them in the playoffs. I'm going to go with 21-20 Bears. I don't think our offense is going to be able to do much. Maybe 1 or 2 turnovers for the Bears put us in decent field goal position, or just in decent position to score a touchdown, but I don't think the offense does too much. I would also probably assume that Trubisky turns over the ball a little bit. But, this is like a practice game for the playoffs, I would say. But if we could somehow pull out the 2 seed, you never know what can happen in that Rams-49ers game. So I'm going to take the Bears by a point.
I'm going to go 24-14 Chicago. I just feel like this is like the Bears want to win this game because we don't want to make it 2010 where we had to face the Packers 3 times in the season. I just don't think it's necessary to face a division team in the playoffs again just because how close divisional games are already and how evenly matched we are compared to the Vikings. The record doesn't show it, but in my opinion, we're one of the most evenly matched teams in the league. So I don't want to play them again. I'd rather play the Eagles, who have a terrible secondary that Trubisky can light up. So it's time to end the Vikings season.
Okay.
I'm going to go 20 to 10 Bears. I feel the same way about Parth. I do not want to play the Vikings 3 times in a row. Mm-hmm. Even if we do lose this game, I think we can more than likely beat Kirk Cousins in Chicago. But even if we do, I don't want to play him a 3rd time. Division. It's hard in the NFL to beat an opponent 3 times in a row. So I just want to in the Vikings streak right now, and let's play the Eagles next week.
Totally.
If we don't get the 2 seed.
Yep. Well, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. You probably won't see a post-game show because I'll be in Minnesota maybe the next day on that Monday. You'll see one. But yeah, whatever the next episode is, it'll be the postseason, so we'll be wearing button-down shirts. And I might throw a tie on. We'll see.
Yeah. I can't put one on.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. But that'll pretty much do it for that one, guys. You can find all of our social medias in the description. You can follow the podcast and enter the giveaway on Instagram and Twitter at Bear Down. Go check that out to enter the giveaway. You guys will be seeing this on Friday night. Games on Sunday, 4:25 Eastern time. Got like miniature flexed. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it. honestly, the outcome of this game, it doesn't really matter because we're in the playoffs. I mean, I would like that 2 seed, but do I see it really happening? No. And it could affect who we play. But, hey, Nagy said we're playing to win, so let's hope that happens. We'll see you guys in the next one, Chicago. Bear down. Peace.
Peace.